Hey shooters, this is John with Sun and Shadow, where we make tools for competitors and warriors. On this episode of 5-minute tips for 1-minute shooters, we take the 6-arc LPR to the range for the first time, get some initial data, and see how it runs. So we start the range day off with some dry fire. I usually like to start range days like this just so I can warm up a little bit. Next, we're going to move into the first shots out of the gun. There's a lot of things that I'm looking for on these first shots. Does the mag lock back on empty? Where is the brass going? Are there pressure signs like wipe or cratered or punctured primers? Are there malfunctions? And what kind of malfunctions are occurring? And also, how's that zero going? I had a few malfunctions right out of the gate. They were failures to eject, and I should note that when I started, I had an SR15 buffer and an SR15 spring in there, so I hadn't started to do any tuning work yet. Alright, so here we are just getting sighted in at 100. Started out over here and then corrected up into the center. Thought we were doing pretty darn good in the center, and then I took my 6 rounds to get it zeroed and couldn't get stable. Not super happy about that, but we'll do a couple more as we chrono these loads. Now that I have a decent zero, I'm going to start getting some chrono data on these. This is really just for my reference because I know that the bullets are going to speed up as this barrel gets broken in a little bit more. I just wanted to see what kind of speeds we started at and then we move into. So as I go along with this, I am cycling through magazines. I think there's 5 rounds in each mag. I'm shooting 20 rounds for the chrono data. I know that's kind of a lot, but I just like to have all that data available to me. At this point, I still have the SR15 buffer and spring in there. I haven't fooled around with it yet. I just prefer to focus on the zero and making sure that the chrono data was coming in. All right, we are looking here at our string. We're looking about 2604 on this guy, but let's review. So our high was 2640. Our low is 2569. It's quite a spread. Average is 2615. And again, we're shooting Hornady Match 108s, just the factory ammo. Stream spread is 71. Whew. And our SD is 24. All right, so here's our 20 round string, the first string that we chronoed. I mean, it's decent, right? But I really hate shooting off benches and shooting on paper. So anyway, it's all right, not super great, but we'll try to clean it up for the next one. So ejection is a little anemic, and I traded out the buffer to an H2 buffer, a little bit heavier buffer, and also to a Wolf extra power spring. I'm seeing that the ejection is starting to get better, but we still have some malfunctions here and there. Also, I'm still having a couple of issues with ejection, although I just sent a 20 round magazine and didn't have any problems. But here we are. This is my last 10 round group. I just slipped the rings for the Night Force Attacker 4-16. Man, Night Force, you really got to fix the way that you do the ring slipping, dude. That totally sucked. But anyway, we got it back together, and let's flip this thing around. Okay, so here is the 10 round shot, or a 10 round group that I just had. This was my last group here at 100 while we move over. I don't know, man, I'm pretty happy with that. I'll put a quarter up next to it or something in the next picture, and I'll have a look at it. So all right, so we're reviewing my last string here. There should be 20 rounds in this one. So our high was 2656. Our low was 2588. Average 2628. So we gained about 13 FPS over the first 80 rounds. Stream spread of 68. and our SD of 16, which is starting to get a little bit better. It's looking like out of that box of Hornady. Again, this is Hornady Factory 108s. By the way, nobody's sponsoring me for these videos, so if somebody did, I'd be looking at you, Magneto Speed. Here's how I'm shooting today. I'd say this guy over here on the left is probably the better one, but they're pretty much the same about. Again, I'm shooting the Hornady Match. These are the 108s. I don't know, I'd say maybe roughly 1.5 to 2 MOA out of this guy, and frankly, it's, you know, probably me. I really hate bench shooting. We can kind of compare that to my 18-inch LPR. This one, you know, it kind of shoots lights out. Really hard to beat this guy. So, you know, this thing's right around 1.2, 1.25 MOA if I'm doing a good job. So, you know, I would say that I'm not disappointed with these groups. Again, this just might come down to me as a shooter. You know, maybe if I spent a little more time, fired from prone, you know, whatever, it doesn't really matter. These might close up a little bit, or maybe the barrel needs to warm up. I don't know, maybe the shooter needs to warm up. But either way, I'm not disappointed with these, although I know that they could be a little bit better. So anyway, shooting paper, that was boring. Let's shoot some steel. So we are back from the range. We have 140 rounds on the gun. Let's take a look and see what it looks like. Got the bolt face there, definitely dirtied up. Kind of hard to see on this black nitride coating on the bolt. But we can also look back here. This is the front of the buffer. This is that H2 buffer that I exchanged. You can see all the carbon buildup there. And then also we look into the chamber. You can see the gas tube. This is all clean when I started, by the way. And I'm not sure if we could see down deep into the chamber there, but do have a bit of accumulation going on inside there as well. Overall, I'd say that we want to be cleaning this gun as often as we can. So if we're in the middle of a match day, might consider at least wiping down the bolt buffer inside of the upper receiver at least once during that day match. So the middle of the match maybe, just to keep everything running smoothly. So our initial range trip was partially successful. The gun works for the most part, but we still got some little kinks we need to work out. I think that's going to be related to the buffer and spring combo that I have in there, and I've got some more parts on the way that we can try out different combinations there. So we'll continue to work out the reliability of this gun and also check out that accuracy. Next time we go to the range, we're going to finish up with the initial break-in of the barrel, and we'll see where we're at there velocity-wise before we start bringing this out to its first competition. Thanks everybody for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to post them below and hit the subscribe button while you're at it. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one.